Good morning, everybody. Pro traders, welcome to the first of our midweek market reviews. I'm particularly doing this, obviously, to make up for Monday, where we were rudely cut off in the middle of our Monday morning market review. This stage 4 load shedding has caused havoc with our towers, line of sight towers here. And as I've said many times, much as it's a real privilege to live where we do, one of the challenges that we do have is our communications network. So in any case, it's worth having a look at the markets again, I think, in advance of this evening's announcement by the Fed, the FOMC. They've been in a meeting, obviously, yesterday, and they will be again today. And as you can see, the markets have been very much sideways in anticipation of the press report or press meeting that they will be having this evening. I think Central African time, it's about 8 p.m. It's 2 p.m. US or Eastern Standard Time. So let's obviously take into account in today's analysis that we are looking at a market that has been holding its breath somewhat in anticipation of that. And I'm sure in your trading, you've seen that as well. That is on top of the fact that we've had very choppy markets now for several weeks. So there hasn't been that much available for us, but I think today will nevertheless be a good day for us to run through the charts again. And ESCOM willing, we'll be able to get through to the end of it. I will also be giving you guys, announcing at the end of this something that we are going to be doing next month. And I would like to invite you guys to that. So without further ado, let's jump into the charts and have a look at what's been going on since we last spoke. And as always, with the Euro USD, you can see that this week so far really is just a retracement on the daily time frame. And I'm really just going to keep focusing on daily at the moment. So we haven't really seen, and nor are we expecting any, nor did we expect any action in the days leading up to the FOMC. But nevertheless, it goes to prove the point that the market very often does just back off from these big announcements. And here with by far the most highly traded instruments in the world, you can see that over Monday, Tuesday, and even this morning. So having said that, it is testing, as we discussed on Monday, it is just testing this support level, which is the bottom of our 4-wave channel. So if the market is going to continue across some of these instruments that we are keeping our eye on, as we discussed before, that have been testing either significant or resistance or support levels, well, we're waiting to see what happens, I think, this evening. And tomorrow, we are all hoping that we will see quite a lot of continuation activity, because that would really allow us to start trading our core strategies again immediately. Whereas obviously, if we have big reversals across the board, then it means that we have to step back again and allow the market just to reprove itself. All right, so as you can see, nothing much happening there. I am interested to see what happens here on the lower time frames through the course of the next several hours. What I will do as well is just point out that if we were to ignore the big announcement coming out later today with the Fed, there have been a couple of interesting multi-time frame setups. So on the Euro USD, we did see a breakdown in cyclicity on the H4 time frame within this retracement wave on daily in this phase 2. Which, as I say, you know, we like to see patterns like that. You know, our hybrid strategy and what have you takes advantage of many of these structures across multiple time frames. And certainly there was a setup, but it's not doing anything. And as I say, there's no surprise around that, thanks to the fact that the market is waiting for this evening. All right, so that's just a broad picture that is visible across many markets. And here again on cable, similarly, we've had the support level that we were discussing on Monday retested yesterday. Significant failure once again, no surprise. But it is interesting that some of the big players in the market are testing these significant levels. But still, nothing for us to do. This is obviously a ghost support level. You know, if we're looking at our standard 4-wave channel, it is a little bit further down but when we do get, when this bearish wave comes to an end, that will be the new support level for our 4-wave channel. And that has been pretty much proven again yesterday. But as I say, what may happen this evening is a mystery. We don't know. But if it does roll over and break through this level and keep coming down, that would be great news for us. All right. I'm Dolly Yen. So very much inside of the channel, nothing doing here. So we again need to wait for this to prove itself. I have been looking at a couple of these multi-time frame structures over here, but it is something that's very much inside of a range. So we wouldn't be looking to trade that unless we get a bullish breakout at the end of today. Dollar Swiss, likewise, been testing the support levels we discussed before, but it just pulled straight back inside of the range. So again, it's the support level that is of more interest to us. Let's wait and see again what happens. And then USD Cad, oh, wrong time frame. Let's just go back to daily, shall we? So this is one where we did have a breakout. We did discuss this on Monday as well. We had a continuation of that. There was a setup to go long on the H4 impulse. And once again, the market's sort of taking a breather. It has pulled back, but yesterday there was that bullish setup, and ignoring everything else, you could have gone long here. And by the end of this candle, you'll be able to trail your stop pretty much to break even in any case. So still plenty of time to do that in anticipation of this evening's announcement. And what would be nice, of course, is if this continued in a bullish direction, and if you're trading your advanced targeting, it could go some way. But remember, we don't second guess the market. We allow the market to do its thing, and we limit our downside and let upside look after itself. And folks, as always, if you've got any questions about my analysis on these charts or any trades, please do drop them into the chat box. Okay, so on the Aussie, still absolutely nothing, no real change here. After our previous discussions, absolutely choppy, flat as a pancake. We've had a false breakout in a bullish direction, a false breakout in a bearish direction, and that's over a period extending back a good couple of months now. So we really haven't been looking at anything on this. The Kiwi is a little bit more interesting, obviously, because it has been showing that weakness that we've discussed periodically in the past over the last couple of weeks. And you can see that yesterday we had a bearish engulfing candle, which did in fact close outside of our 4-wave channel. So that is something that you could have had a look at. And if that's the case, then I'd say maybe even still having a look at. We've got this retracement at the moment. You wouldn't have been able to take a trade on this yesterday, obviously, because yesterday was the candle that closed outside. But certainly, a bearish impulse candle over here, ignoring the fact that we've got that announcement this evening, would have been a potential setup. But another example of some of the deeper pullbacks that we've been experiencing, I assume, because we've got the market anticipating the FOMC announcement this evening. Euro yen, nothing doing. We spoke about the fact that there had been a breakout in a bearish direction of the LPO channel, but it's pulled straight back inside that again. So nothing of interest there for us, which is pretty much typical of the yen pairs at the moment. Well, most of them anyway. We'll get to the Swiss yen in a second. But GBP yen similarly absolutely flat. But here we have the Swiss yen. I did mention that this trader, you can see, is actually long on a daily impulse, and has been all the way since the close of the candle on the 8th. Trailed the stop, 2 5-step rules. So last night, been able to reduce the open risk to under half of the original risk. This trader is an advanced targeter, so you can see there's no take profit. Just letting upside look after itself there. But it's the standard rules that you guys who are in the academy know all about. One of the more interesting pairs, without a shadow of a doubt. I suppose what we should be looking at is, I've had a few questions around why not trade the H4 impulse. Well, remember the selection time frame for the H4 impulse is the daily. So even though our final execution criteria were met here on daily, it's the selection criteria for an H4 here are not met. So you need to separate clearly in your mind the daily impulse and the H4 impulse. This is very much not, it has not broken out of the channel. And we're waiting for that. You can see yesterday we did have that test of our resistance level, but it's failed the test. And so far today, same thing, which is not a huge surprise. Bearing in mind that now we're moving away from the dollar-based pairs, so we might not see quite as much hesitation in the markets as we are seeing on the dollar-based pairs. All right, so Cad Yen also very much inside the channel. Remember on this one that we are in a phase 2 or retracement wave on weekly, and that's what this bearish cyclicity consists of. I'll be telling you a little bit more about how to learn more about the hybrid strategies and so on. But if we see a breakdown in this bearish cyclicity, that obviously would be an indication that we be looking to go long on this again. Certainly because this is the execution time frame for the weekly chart. Right, Aussie Yen also flat, similar to the Aussie USD, nothing of any interest. Kiwi Yen, there's that New Zealand dollar weakness, a bit more apparent here. It's not quite the same as the Aussie, but again, really nothing of any use to us at all. For those folks who were looking for a valid M pattern, I think that the close on Monday just violated that. So unfortunately, it's not suitable for that either. Not that you want to do that now. And the WM patterns on their own are extremely aggressive, as you know, and certainly the run up to big news, not advised. Right, so Euro GBP, here we actually had an overlay hitting take profit very nicely yesterday. It could have gone a bit further, but made up for some of the losses we've had. So the overlay, remember, is not designed to specifically be profitable, but it's designed to make money when the core strategies are not making money. Yeah, I'll be telling you more about the overlay in a minute. Right, Euro Swiss, a pair that I'm most prejudiced against, as you know. But it is the instrument that does have a proper full-on breakout and has had for a whole week already in a bearish direction. So we saw that phase 2 set itself up on Monday. And if you're trading any of the hybrids, then certainly there was a setup to go short on it. It's been hovering around break even, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At the end of this candle, we'll be able to trail the stop a little bit. But yeah, it's we've had a loser on this already and a break even trade. So yeah, my prejudice against the Euro Swiss has been reinforced. All right, so Euro Cad flat, absolutely flat. We spoke about this on Monday. The bearish setup, hybrid setup, was stopped out for about 0.4 loss. So nothing doing there. No resumption of bearish cyclicity at all. Okay, Euro Aussie, likewise, stuck in the middle of nowhere. Actually, let me just go back to that. Double check that I'm not leading you astray. Okay, yeah, so that's fair enough. What is interesting, of course, is that we are on the weekly time frame, deep inside of a channel here, but there is an element of bullish cyclicity. Not only that, this is a potentially valid W pattern. Obviously, we need to wait for the end of this week to see that. But the end of this phase 2 wave, short though it may be, effectively 2 weeks long, if it is coming to an end, on that time frame is visible here on the daily time frame with a breakdown in bearish cyclicity, and we've had a bullish impulse wave with yesterday's higher high, higher close. So interesting. Let's watch that. Of course, as I say, anything can happen, and certainly anything can happen when FOMC announcements are about to come out. But that aside, that was something that I found quite interesting to look at. All right, Euro NZD, yesterday we saw a test of both our 3 and 4 wave channel. Failed test, of course, and so far today it's just retracing Nothing special at all, but it is a decent resistance level. If we get a bullish breakout over here, it could be something that would be really nice to trade. Gbp Swiss, we do have this bearish cyclicity inside of our channels. We did have, well, this wasn't a breakout at the time, of course, but yesterday's candle coming down, testing our 4-wave channel support level, but failing again on that test, and no big surprise there. This is not something that's nearly as interesting as some of the others that we've looked at. The Swiss franc has been showing real strength, though, of course. Right, Gbp Cad. Okay, I mean, this is obviously new. I haven't looked at the charts in the last few hours. So I did notice yesterday again that after 3 days in a row, we've had failed tests of this resistance level. So interested to see that it's pushing outside of it again. Let's see what happens here. Definitely could be something worth looking at tomorrow. And folks, by the way, I just want to point out as well that I'm looking at our broader setups. As you know, there are a number of ways to be more aggressive or more conservative. This would not be a valid setup if you're looking for an outside C close, because it would be the straight breakout. Gbp Aussie, well, as you can see, really flat, nothing going on here. We did have I think that's a bullish engulfing yesterday, but who cares? You know, it's really not worth looking at much at all from that point of view. But remember that we have had a breakout on the weekly time frame on this pair, and as I mentioned on Monday, you know, we had this low test or hammer candle testing what was resistance and is now being deemed as support. So again, here's a phase 2 on the weekly time frame. Well, what does that look like here on daily? You can see that this bearish cyclicity looks like it has broken down. I think Marina mentioned that, you know, certainly from a hybrid point of view, that bullish candle there was also a setup for a hybrid strategy to go long on this already. But if you are waiting from an impulse strategy point of view, we do need to have reason to believe that we are into the next phase 1 here on the weekly time frame. So should this candle close like this, and I doubt that it will on Friday, you know, it would be an inside bar just like this, but it would be a bullish inside bar, and that bullish shape summarizing this bullish cyclicity here on the daily time frame. So that could well be something that would be interested in looking to trade, certainly with an impulse strategy, should we get that low isolated on the weekly time frame, and we could look to start going long on that early in next week. But let's leave that till the Monday morning market review. We'll chat about that again then. All right, so Gbpnzd here on daily, testing again the whole week through this resistance level. So we did get an outside close, as we mentioned on Monday, but then Monday and yesterday not succeeding in sustaining price outside of that level. So, you know, we had that gap over the weekend and it opened on Monday inside the channel, and it couldn't go anywhere after that and still hasn't done. So nothing doing for us there. It was a bullish engulfing candle yesterday. So there is the possibility that this could well be there for the resumption of bullish cyclicity outside of this channel here. But we really need to let the market prove itself and wait and see. Apart from that, it's still pretty messy, to be honest. But that could resolve itself into a very tradable picture in the near future. So just remember that on the weekly time frame, though, this is very much inside of the channel, but that resistance level is key, very much key for this instrument. Right, so moving to our other crosses, Cad Swiss has continually, well, we actually had an inside close on Monday, I think it was, but we did have that breakout that we discussed on Monday, pulled back inside, and yesterday closed again outside. So this is not exactly high quality movement in a phase 1 wave. Something that I've mentioned over the past couple of weeks is look at the quality of the wave. So it's not high quality really, but we have had a few impulse candles. Very slow movement, and that is visible here on the 4-hour time frame with this weak cyclicity, as you can see very clearly. Having said that, you know, if you look at the standard rules for a H4 impulse, we have reason to believe that A, we are in a trend, B, in a phase 1 or impulse wave of that trend, certainly with yesterday's impulse candle. Nothing around that has changed. We don't have any outside C closes, so it would be quite aggressive to go for this purely with being outside of the channel. But nevertheless, here you can see that this 4-hour retracement coming to an end. And if this ends up being an impulse candle in 40 minutes time, that would be a valid short for an H4 impulse. Again, you'd be pretty brave to be trading these in advance of tonight. But these are, especially considering that this does include the Canadian dollar, which is often impacted by US news. Right, Aussie Swiss, likewise, here we have and have had an outside close a few times in this also weak bearish wave. But yesterday did confirm it as an impulse wave or phase 1 wave. So very weak though. We've even got a couple of non-relevant highs here that were higher. So yeah, not exactly a high quality phase 1, but it is a phase 1 wave. And it's outside of the 4-wave channel. Which again, if you look at this now on the 4-hour time frame, you can see at the bottom of our 4-hour channel way on the left here with the red support level. It is outside of that. This is potentially set up to go short, but we would need those final selection criteria to be met. But yeah, it's not exactly pretty, is it, guys? I mean, okay, this is even less pretty. Let's not speak about this very much at all. I mean, that's just absolute rubbish. So not interested in that at all. Aussie Kiwi breathing again, it would seem, despite the fact that these are both Eastern currencies. But a phase 2. Having said that, what folks have been looking for as well is the fact that this is a valid W pattern at the moment, should it transpire. And if you're looking at multi-time frame stuff, however, you'll notice that our bearish cyclicity is still very much intact. However, a bullish impulse candle here could well be something that you'd want to go for. Remember, when we look at our phase 2 waves, we don't necessarily expect the lower low, lower close if it's bearish, obviously, and vice versa if it's bullish. We look for the lower lows. We need to be a little bit more forgiving in that, because by nature, a phase 2 wave on the lower time frame is likely to exhibit weak cyclicity. And it certainly looks like it is. In any case, pushing up against this resistance level, it's failed there. Obviously, let's see what happens. This could just roll over and come back down inside of the channel, which is probably more likely. But if we get a nice bullish breakout, that certainly could be tradable. Kiwi Swiss, of all the pairs, this is the only one that has given us an outside C close to trade for H4 impulse. So, our BC wave being here, that was the highest close. And even if you take the open, I think that's outside of our channel. So this is the only one that is not only outside of the channel, but has given us an outside C close and is obviously also a valid M pattern. So the most impulsive of all of them, of all of the instruments. So if you drop down again to H4, we're not getting a bearish impulse candle again. Not surprised that the market is taking a breather in advance of this evening. I'm quite happy to sit on the sidelines. Right. So, but worth noting that that is the most trendy of all of our instruments that we've looked at. Okay. Finally, Kiwi Cad flat. We did talk about the fact that on the weekly time frame, we've had the outside C close here as well. So this is a valid M pattern and it's a trend, all of that. So on the weekly time frame, this is the most trendy of the lot, I think. So all intact, ready to roll. And as I say, let me just go to the right chart. If you were trading this with a hybrid approach, you would have been short on this some time ago. But if you were looking to trade this on a daily impulse, then obviously, as I mentioned, actually I didn't mention this on Monday because we were cut off. But if you watch the recording, you would have noted that we did have that bearish inside bar. We also had that previous high ringed. So ever since that high was ringed, we've been well, we were looking for a short on this on the daily impulse. So there have been a couple of opportunities, depending on which one you took. Obviously, the earlier, the better. You'd still be in this, but it's just going sideways. Trailed the stop, obviously, but nothing else to do except continue to trail that stop and see what happens. I'm not sure if these will be affected by this evening's announcement, but as I mentioned, anything with a Canadian dollar in can be affected by US news as well. Right, so any questions, folks, on that? That's pretty much a wrap for looking at all the currency pairs. All happy? Okay, totally good. If you do think of anything, drop it into the chat box, and I will answer it. All right. Now, obviously, if you're watching this as a recording, you're welcome to pop your question into the comment box below this. Okay. Right. So that brings me to my little news announcement, and I guess combining with the fact that we have been going now for just over a year, and thank you guys for all of your wishes. But more importantly, thank you for your support over the last year. We conceived the academy more than 2 years ago. We only really launched it last year, well, just over a year ago. So we're officially into the toddler stage and not wearing nappies anymore. But in any case, I'm really happy that we've been able to build the academy to the point that we have. And as I say, I really have you guys to thank for that. I hope you guys know that I'm doing my best to try and help you achieve the success that you're looking for as a professional trader, and to teach you what I wish I knew when I started out, and particularly when I started out as an independent trader, of course. I am continuing to put in the hours into the academy to improve it. I've just made some significant upgrades to the technical analysis section. So please do go check that out. I've still got plenty more work to do there. But if you haven't had a look at the technical analysis or the complete trader skill set course, please do make sure that you go and have a look at that again. We've got a lot more material that's been put in there. So in any case, thank you, folks, for your support. And also thank you for all of your feedback. Part of the feedback that I've received from many of you, and a request, is to do a little bit more sort of personal training on a group basis. So what Green and I have been planning is, and also to commemorate our birthday, if you like, is a bootcamp/workshop, where for say 3 days in a row, we will spend a few hours together, both in the morning and the evening. Certainly at those times where we focused on doing the analysis as well as actually placing the trades, instead of just doing a review like we normally do around mid-morning on a Monday, or like we have done today. Actually spend some time together around those times where we actually do the trading. That is something we are going to be doing next month, the second week of July. I stand to be corrected, Green, but I think it's the 12th to the 14th. So let me just double check on that. Yes, 12th to 14th of July, we are running a 3-day trader bootcamp where we will trade together live, do our analysis together live, identify trade setups live, even place those together live. So that's something that I have been thinking about for a while. It is also really a test for us to see how well it works and whether it brings value to you guys. Because if it does, I'm looking on scaling that up into more regular and more significant training with you folks to help you achieve our mission goal, which is to not only learn how to be consistently profitable traders, but to get funded and trade those $2 million accounts consistently profitably. So yeah, we're testing the waters for more personal and direct training and more interaction with me. Let's see how it goes. So we've got 2 options. Obviously, if you are a member of the academy, we are giving you a significant discount on this. And in fact, if you want to get involved with the trade manager, it's basically going to cost you nothing. So if you're a non-member, then the cost is $245. If you are a member, it will be $95. But if you are a non-member, it will also come with a an offer for 1 month Academy membership for a whole $1, and that's really like a birthday present to you guys, and also just hopefully an opportunity for you to see, if you're not already a member, the enormous value that we do provide to our members in helping them achieve their trading goals. So that also would come with some coaching from me and so on that all of our members do get when they join up. And if you're not happy with that, you can cancel, and it will have cost you a whole $1 from that point of view. The other thing, of course, is that we will be launching the GoPro Trade Manager during the course of the bootcamp. And by the way, there's only 25 spots available. Please do note that. I obviously can't, if I'm going to be giving you each individually real value and attention, I can't really do more than that. So we are limiting the space available to the folks who, the first 25 folks. And also the first 5 who join will be getting a special deal as well. So you will see that. Karine, thank you. She's popped in the 2 links there. If you're a non-member or a member, please do use the appropriate link. So unfortunately, if you are not a member, we won't be able to give you that $95 special deal. By the way, if you do join up, and certainly if you are an Academy member, then you will also be getting early access to the GoPro Trade Manager. And I can show you a little bit about that as well, but certainly we will be going into that in quite a bit of detail then. But not only will you be getting early access to it, but the licensing fee for the API will be covered by me. That licensing fee is either a once-off $100 or a monthly fee of $50. So I'm going to be paying that for you, which means that your $95 to join the bootcamp is basically really just compensating me for that, and the whole thing is going to be effectively costing you nothing. So, but yeah, we've the GoPro Trade Manager is busy being bulletproof tested at the moment. And the benefits of that really, I think, are mostly to help you with your consistency in your trading. I'm not sure if you have experienced this, but I'd be very surprised if you haven't. But I'm sure you know what it feels like to wake up at 7 o'clock or what have you in the morning and to see the perfect entry having passed you by, either for a daily impulse or for an H4 impulse during the course of the night. Well, you will never have to experience that ever again. So the Trade Manager not only, well, the only thing it doesn't do is identify the higher time frame selection criteria. So that's all you need to do. If you have done that, then you simply indicate to the Trade Manager which instruments for particular strategies you want to trade and in which direction, and it does everything else for you. It takes the trade, position sizes for you, it manages the trade for you depending on the technique that you want to use. So 2 5-step rule, 3 6, aggressive trailing stops. All of these are settings that can be adjusted by you, and it does it all for you absolutely automatically. So all you need to do is identify whether the higher time frame selection criteria are met. That's it, and it'll do everything else for you, as I say, including position sizing. So it really takes all of the time, effort, and the potential for human error out of it. And most importantly, I think it takes out the potential for missing out on those really, really great trades. So that is something that we will be going into in a lot of detail as well in the bootcamp, and showing you guys exactly how to use it. Yeah, that will be also only available to people who do attend the bootcamp. So I hope that that is something that you guys will find value in having. As I say, I'm always trying to figure out ways to help you to be successful as professional traders, and many of you are well on your way. So I'm looking forward to spending those 3 days with you and all of those hours and using that time constructively. So apart from obviously doing the trades and so on, I'm sure we will have plenty of time to invest in the workshop side of that bootcamp, which will be obviously going through the training material in more detail, I'll also be talking about the overlay strategy and showing you where we are at with that and explaining the rules to you in detail. And also talking in principle about the hybrid strategies as well. So for those of you who are ready to move a little bit beyond the impulse family of strategies and start trading slightly more advanced stuff, we will be covering that as well. If that's not you, then that's also fine. But you know, you definitely will learn a lot during the course of those 3 days. So please do make sure that you jump in and book your spot. As I say, there's only 25 seats available. And there will be a special offer for the first 5. Certainly the first 5 people will get an hour's coaching with me, one-on-one. And if you're a non-member, then you will get, if you're in the first 5 to book, you will get your first month membership with the Academy for a whole $1, which is really part of our birthday celebration. All right, folks, so that was really a couple of announcements, I suppose, that I wanted to make. There's a lot going to be happening next month. I would just point out as well, if we do have any problems with power, ESCOM, and load shedding and what have you, then we will make sure that we make up that time, so you don't need to worry about that. And we're going to make sure that those people who do book one of those 25 seats are going to get full value. If you're concerned about your time, the amount of time that you have, if you're working, we will be doing the morning session from early. So if you are able to do that early session in the morning, and then likewise in the evening, we'll be doing it sort of around after dinner time. The normal trading times that we look at the markets for our technical analysis and what have you. And also it'll all be recorded. So the recordings will also be available to the folks who have booked for the bootcamp. So yeah, I hope that you guys will join me, as I say, and we can start taking things to the next level together. And there will be another announcement in that bootcamp as well, something that will only be available to the folks who have joined us in the bootcamp, which will be an opportunity to work even more closely with me going forward. But we'll chat about that then. Right, folks, so I think I've taken up most of the time that I was going to today. Do we have any other questions? As Karine says, we will be posting more information about the bootcamp in the Facebook group, so do look out for that. And yeah, we're going to hit it hard. It's going to be great. All right, folks, so just remember again that this evening is a FOMC announcement, interest rate announcement. I'm obviously just personally stepping back and waiting to see what happens. There's not that much happening. The few trades that we are in, we've managed to tighten up our stops nicely on that. But yeah, do take care. And having said that, if things start moving through the night, you know, tomorrow morning might be all systems go. But you know exactly what conditions you need to look out for and which to avoid. And make sure you do that. And if you're unclear about that, remember the training in the Complete Trader Skill Set course has been significantly upgraded. Please do go and check that out. Awesome. Thanks very much, Greg. See you folks are starting to come in. Brilliant. Well done. Des, thank you. Surprise, thank you. Pino, thank you. Ingrid, thank you. Awesome. So we've got our first 5. All right, so what I'll do is then anyone who moves in the next hour, I will I will extend that special offer to. All right, folks, have a great day trading. Be careful, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.